By listening to my guests share how they are discovering their best self, you will discover the best part of you.
Is that, movies inspire, motivate, and also lift up people, right? So you have what NBA or NFL team or hockey team has not seen Rocky, right? What individual hasn't seen like Pursuit of Happiness, right? It's like those type of feelings that become elicited from a movie. We wanted to inspire and give that back to people. So for us, we knew that we wanted to have something of purpose. We also knew we wanted to do something within the community. But we also knew that we wanted to do something that was a little bit different than the norm, right? So Robin and I, my business partner, came up with the idea based upon Robert having a home movie theater in his home. And so many people were like, you know what, Rob, we love this experience. We love the audio. You should do this on a much bigger scale. And so he then invited me over to be a part of that partnership. And Rob and I have known each other for a number of years, so probably about 15 years as we used to work together. And so we knew that we wanted to do something in the future. We just wasn't sure what it was. So when he invited me to this opportunity, I said, a movie theater? Wait a minute. In the day of Netflix and Amazon, why in the world would we open up a movie theater, right? And again, some of the things that we talked about, though, was what kind of experience were we going for that a consumer or a guest would come for?
What does that process look like, and how are you getting, those powerful players? Kendra, are you part of, helping get that together? I'm just really interested on the back part of that.
Yeah, actually, so we've been really blessed in that the movie theater has had such buzz. We haven't had to do as much outreach in order to draw people. The theater, it's doing the work for us. People are coming to us proactively. The word of mouth is basically what we've been using. So a friend tells a friend, and then next thing you know, you've got people in our theater who are coming from California or Nevada or Atlanta. So cool. Yeah, to be supportive, to say we came specifically to be in your theater. So that's really fantastic. And then on social media, there's a lot of buzz there. In fact, sometimes Tony and I talk about this. We'll all of a sudden get hits on social media or, get outreach where we're not even sure where it came from because it's not yet, I wouldn't yet call it viral, but it's got a lot of momentum behind it, which is really good. So we're lucky to be in that position.
Yeah, when I saw it, I think I saw it on LinkedIn, and I was like, okay, I don't know who these people are, but I'm gonna find out. So, the story for me, that did it. I was like, I really need to know who's doing this because, we don't always have a lot of opportunities to showcase our talents, and everyone's not going to do that. So if they're not, then how do we become that vessel to give access to other people? And that's the part, that's what the podcast is for too, because there are a lot of people who don't get to share their story, or we don't know who they are, and we need other people to be that vessel or that platform for them to do that. And that's what I saw in you all when I read the story, and I was like, I need to know what's going on. Like and when you all told me that you do more than just the movies, I was like, well, what else? It's everything. That's like a whole party. So that's how I felt. I was like, that sounds really cool.
Working with the right contacts at a lot of these studios, and making sure that you pay your bills, for example, you stay in constant communication with them. You're doing the right thing in terms of projecting it out to the consumer. So it's a lot of building the relationship over time. And at the end of the day, let's be honest, it comes down to, are you providing them revenue, right, for their movie? And so one of the things this is why our experience is so important to us, because we have a lot of repeat customers, and those customers come and see our movie. So when we get ready to pay our BRRs, which are our box office reports, they say, you know what, Next Act Cinema, even though they're a 2-cinema theater, they perform just as well as a lot of the big offices. For example, Harriet was our #1 selling movie, whereas everywhere else, Avengers was #1 in probably every movie house. But that was because, again, we focus on our community. We make sure that we have a great experience. but we're able to do it in a way that is different. Like we did an event around Harriet. Like we blasted it out to volunteer organizations, to schools. Like we take an active approach in making sure that our comp score, that's what it's called a comp score, versus the other theaters in our area, that our comp score stays high.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to understand, when you say you had to know the right people to get the movies there. So I'm not in that space, and for the listeners, right? They're not in that space. They don't understand. So if I wanted to open a movie theater, I would think like, oh, I'm a movie. I can just show whatever movie. And so you have to be able to prove that you can bring the audience out. And
creating a legacy now for Austin all the time. So I think it's changed the shape and nature of the work that we do, because it feels like, you're leaving something for him, even if he doesn't want to be in the theater business or to have the businesses, if nothing else, just demonstrating and showing him the entrepreneurial spirit that hopefully he can grow up with and own over time.
There's a trend I feel like I see especially now that I've been meeting so many different business owners or corporate leaders, and I don't think that it's by accident. Their kids, they see that. They see the work ethic. They understand, and they want to be in the space, and they don't want to work for someone. They want to do their own thing. They get that. And a lot of what I see, like, for example, I had another lady. She has a kind of like a nap spa. It's a float spa. So you float in these and these, I don't know if I call them tubes or whatever, but you float in there and sea salt. Yeah. And so she's never had a job before. Her family, she grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, and that's just what she knows, Yeah. And she started that business, but she also, used to have some other businesses, and she's very young. And so, she doesn't know what it means to get up and go work for someone else. She only knows how to produce her own paycheck.
That's right.
And that's a huge, I think, different mindset and mind shift when you grow up like that and you see your parents do it, and that's how you see the world. And so I think that is phenomenal, and and you guys will probably be raising a little entrepreneur yourself, and so to have a family business is very powerful, because you're not just affecting your life, you're affecting others after you.
It's also important to give props to the people that support us. So my mom is like a superhero. She has just swooped in and helped us so much, helped us create space for ourselves, where she'll say, I'm coming down to your house, I'm taking the baby, you guys go out, have brunch, go actually see the movies that play in your theater. Right? Like, she has been fantastic in helping us try to create some space. And I don't want to oversell it to your listeners, okay? It's not like we're over here just living the life without hardship. Like, everything, we're smiling right now, but everything we're talking about takes a ton of work. And it's fun to reflect on it and be like, whew, we are making it. But it takes a lot of coordination and effort, and we don't do it alone. There's a lot of support around.
Just about being disciplined, being extremely, extremely disciplined in your life with everything that's going on. Will Smith, I love Will Smith for this. He always said that fear isn't real, right? Fear isn't real, right? It's more of an emotion, right? On the other side of that fear is pure happiness. And I constantly say that to myself. Don't be afraid of taking the risk, taking the challenge. At the end of the day, you will learn something. I tell Rob this.
Thank you for listening to Discover Your Best Self. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. Follow us on Instagram at Discover Your Best Self.